Good morning, man. What's up, everybody? It is Friday, April 28th. Man, this month just flew by, right? Let's get rid of that. Oh, yeah, I need to make an adjustment here. Forgot. Oh, man. Been, yesterday was a weird day for me, man. Number one, I didn't do my live feed on the OG channel because, it was raining pretty much most of the day yesterday. Wasn't until the evening that I could have taken the walk, but then we didn't. Dinner was late, and by the time we got done, usually I like a walk after dinner as well, and it was dark, and we're getting to the point where we don't really want to be walking around at the dark where we're at. So, but beyond that, good morning. So maybe we'll do a walk today on the other channel, but we'll see. I've got one more truck to cover, possibly. It was also interesting yesterday trying to find a truck to go from Pennsylvania to Illinois because of needs of the driver, and that was a challenge because there wasn't much to choose from. And so, anyways, and my head wasn't in the right place yesterday. You know, you can ask Pigtail, man. I have this bad habit of looking at the bigger picture, right? I have this habit of simplifying and looking at the big picture, and sometimes it's a little too much. So, because you don't want to lose hope, right? You don't want to, and it's not even about the rates or the volumes. It's about the bigger picture that's causing the situation. When you look at the economic outlook, my economic outlook for our country is not great. So, and it's not because of some podcast that I'm watching or some YouTuber I'm watching, or I guess you would listen to a podcast and watch a YouTuber, but either way, it's not a social media influence thing. It is I see it in my personal life. I see it around me. I'm sure you guys have, anybody who's been to some of the major cities, you see the decay. The whole country is turning into Detroit. And, you look at images from Kensington Avenue there in Philly, and you look at what's happening with, a lot of these retail stores are pulling out of these major cities because of the crime. And, it's just, sometimes it's a little overwhelming. Sometimes I just got to focus on something small. So I did. And I think I was just too distracted. Sometimes that noise is too much, but I'm okay now. I'm okay. So, I almost posted, "You won't get any hope from me today," but that's not good, right? That's not good. So we've got something a little different today on the low board stuff. I want to dive into a few things, and we're gonna have the DAT up here too. We're gonna have the DAT up here. I want to show you some volumes according to DAT. Now, what a lot of people don't realize is that when a low board shows you information, it's based off of their low board. Now, Freight Waves is different because it's going by a different set of analytics information. But so if DAT says there's more loads coming out of somewhere than in, that's on the DAT board. The DAT trend lines is based off of its platform. Now, I'm not on truckstop.com, so I don't know anything about their platform. Every now and then, a driver that wants me to help them book a load, they'll send me screenshots from Truckstop. I talked to them at Matt's, and they had no interest in doing free trials, but I do just fine with 2 low boards. And in this day and age, a lot of the double brokering and the scams and everything that's happening right now, someone is capitalizing on, taking advantage of people that don't have their act together. And even the ones that do, you got to catch it. I mean, it's just like having an online bank account. You got to be really cautious. You got to be very situationally aware, and and that's tough to do sometimes. So, anyways, we'll do some shout outs and we'll go over some load volumes, and and I'll just show you what I'm seeing, how I look at things, because how I look at things might be different, and the real challenges that we're facing right now as truck drivers in general is our own selves, trying to get out of the comfort zone. And I'm guilty of that. I'm guilty of that myself. So I get it. It's not like I'm like, oh, I'm better than you because I can do this. No, I'm not better than you. In fact, I'm worse than you. So just know that I'm just trying to help people. We can sit there and yell that, this is changing and this is changing, this is changing. Okay, but is that really helping? Be aware that things are changing. Be aware that things are difficult. Let's not focus on, let's not make it create fatalism. Some people don't have a choice to change platforms or to pivot or to be home only once a month versus every week. So you just got to deal with what rainstorm is raining on your house. Who cares what's happening across the town? That kind of thing. And so that's where I come in and say, you know what, this is how I'm dealing with things. This is what I'm looking at, and this is everything that I've been telling you for the last 2 years. This is what we've prepared for. And there are people in my circle that have prepared for this, and there are people that in my circle that knew this was coming and still didn't prepare, and now they're struggling. And there are people that are doing just fine, but they are working harder. So I mean, just the human connection is important. That's the thing. I had dinner with one of our drivers, Scorpion Trucker, Wednesday night, and it was good. He talked about the ability to work on his own truck. He is a problem solver. He was working on a part that wasn't working correctly. It wasn't the repair wasn't happening like it should. And so he got inventive, creative, I guess, and got it done. That's an old school trucker mentality. Thomas Wilson, I see you in here. How many times have you had to work on something yourself? How many times have you had to just solve the problem without a dispatcher, without your fleet manager? And as a company driver, if the more problems I could solve myself without even bothering them, they love that. And so it's a mindset. It's a mindset that's going to get you through this. That's the reality. We can sit there and point fingers and say I was right and all this. None of that matters, man. What matters is that we're dealing with things now. There's still opportunity now, but you got to get out of your own way. And that to me is the biggest issue I'm seeing. Because if you aren't efficient, if you don't know what you're doing, and you don't surround yourself with people that know what they're doing, or you're surrounding yourself with over emotional people, yeah, let's go protest. Okay, but what is that going to accomplish? It'll make you feel better. It'll make you feel like you're accomplishing things. But when you come back from that protest and the rates are still trash, and parts are still double of what they used to be, and your fuel bill's going up. Have you accomplished anything? No. All you did was made your voice heard, which makes you feel better. But the reality is you have to adapt and overcome. And, and so that's where I'm coming from. Like, okay, we're here, it's now, and we'll just deal with it. And I think that comes from my past. My past, I had such good jobs. Oh man, they were perfect. I had the perfect scenario, and then some a-hole comes along and ruins it. It's usually a corporation buying the company that I'm at, or they've made changes to the structure that wasn't broken to begin with. And it's like, if you would just leave things alone, you'd be fine. But it's but I've dealt with layoffs. I've been fired. I was fired, I think, from 2 jobs in my life, not my career, but my life. And I know what it's like to have everything wiped away in an instant. And I think that scares a lot of people. Like, a lot of people, truck driving's all they got. Could I go back to welding if I had to? Grudgingly, yeah. I wouldn't want to, but I have skilled trade or trade, skilled. I have skills, but who knows what direction. But I think I'm in this for the long haul because I love trucking. I love the industry, and it's something that's been ingrained in me since I was about 10, 12 years old when my dad became an owner operator. So, so I get it, right? But sometimes you just got to learn and get out of your own way, get some some of that old school thought out, and adapt to what's happening now. And just know that this entitlement mentality that everybody has, that is your key to weakness. So, because we feel that we deserve something. We feel that we deserve this and we deserve that. You don't deserve squat. Business doesn't care about how you feel. And that's the trouble. You see it in the news. Oh, so and so didn't like how so and so labeled so and so. Well, I'm entitled to be labeled as so and so. No, you're not. Project what you want to be. If you want respect, project respect. If you want grace and kindness, project that. That's where we're at, and it's hard. It's hard having empathy. It's hard being sympathetic when people are just being nasty to each other. All the scam artists, all the people cutting each other's throats, all the people trying to steal customers and steal freight and steal trucks. And that's just, that's where we're at. So mentally, I got to sort things out. So the fastings help with that. The walking has helped with that. And I encourage, even if it's 5 minutes a day, clear your head, put your phones away, walk around the truck a few times, and just not even quiet. You need to quiet down the digital noise. And I know that I add to that by doing these live feeds in the morning, but I'm also trying to help, showing you some low board stuff. And then, it goes from there. So I will say this again. Good morning. We're drinking our Cameron's coffee with our Iron Maiden mug. I need more Iron Maiden mugs. I find myself in my older age collecting odd things, and mugs is one of them. It's my wife. My wife probably gets sick of that, So, anyways, Desert Okie Pam, good morning. You're the first one in here. And I know I started early today, so Mike Nine Toes, woot woot, woot woot. Rockin' Robin Truckin', good morning. Pigtail, what's up? Bowl of Woods, Death Wish Coffee. I have not tried that yet, but I need to. Do they have like a, I know it says Death Wish, but do they have a light roast? I would like to try that out. Daryl Worth, good morning. Watching you on the big screen at home. Oh my gosh, I must be so ugly. That would be scary. Pigtail has got the coffee. Red Top Rich, good morning. Down 35 pounds doing keto and fasting. That I love hearing those stories, man. And what's funny is I've been trying to influence Pigtail for a couple of years now, and I've been trying to ram all these different books in his face, and he's figuring it out, and I love it. I love the fact that you're losing weight and feeling great, man. I love that because we all need to do that. We all need to feel good because face it, if you want to change the world, you got to start with yourself, right? You can't control what the president's doing. You can't control what your governor's doing. You can't control what the FMCSA is doing. You can't control what the DOT is doing. But you know what? You can control your actions and your emotions, and clean up the crap that they've been shoving down your throats for the last, how many years old you are. From that infant baby formula to that Popeyes you had yesterday. It's time to clean that out. So, Pigtail, that makes me happy. Congratulations. CB, what's up? 257 to 222. My target weight is 225, which was the weight that I was when my wife and I first started dating. I'd like to get lower than that and then bring up some muscle. So, Mrs. A says, Pigtail, that's excellent. Urban Network Trucking Podcast taps feet to the beat. Got a nice ring to it. There you go. Also watching you on the big screen at home base. Wow, well, at least you're at home. How was the thing that you went to yesterday? I heard it was pretty crowded. That's awesome, Pigtail. Congrats. Bull of the Woods, he's doing his carnivore challenge. I've been LVC, Little Viking Coach. He turned me on to this YouTuber named Dr. Kiltz, and that dude's pretty awesome. I like his shorts. Shorts are addictive like TikTok, so I've been watching a lot of them. But he does what they call the lion diet, which is water, salt, and beef. That's it. But he does promote the keto and low carb lifestyle. So, but he's a true doctor. So he doesn't just play one on TV. Consistency and perseverance. Yes, that is important. But sometimes the consistency is in the wrong place. A person is consistently doing this over and over and over, and then expecting different results. You consistently fail to do this, and then you wonder why it doesn't work, right? So, TK, hey now. Snorelord influenced my dogged determination. There you go. My name is Nobody. Good morning. Rome Land Services. Good morning. Cents per mile. Good morning. Nice hat. Thanks. Cheerful morning, kids. We're all going to get through this. There you go. Sterling. Everybody check out Sterling's channel. He did a really good one that was like his life flashed before his eyes, and I thought that was brilliant. I loved it. Trucking with T-Bone. Good morning. I am mentally, physically, and financially prepared for the trucking crash. There you go, Thomas. There you go. How much barbecue sauce needed to get an I Like Trucking hat? Well, that is in charge of the boss man. So you gave him 4 bottles. So I mean, who knows? Maybe it's more. Mr. Charles, good morning. Greg Zimmer, good morning. Touch base with me today, Greg, if you don't mind. Let me see what DFW Market gives me today as I empty out this morning. Okay. We will do Dallas. Are you van or reefer there, Urban? or flatbed. Tito's and soda. Good morning from Orlando. Man, you Floridians have been hammered with hail and wind and the whole 9 yards here the last couple of days. Morning, Steve. I'll have to catch replay, catching a flight for my brokerage annual conference, meeting up with head office staff and other agents, networking, learning, little fun in evenings. Excellent. Good deal. Safe travels. PRTV, what's up? Safe and fun travel, CDN. I'm booking loads, waiting for my flight. Remote working. Are you set up for remote working? Yes, actually, I am. I have, not to the level you are, but I have my laptop. I work remotely 80% of the time. There you go. Dan's Hotshot Trucking Outdoor Ventures. Morning. Nice beard there in your avatar. SST. Morning. I see you with the eyeballs and the coffee and the fingers and the metal sign. So, all right. So let's do Dallas. Let's look at Dallas for urban network trucking. Van, unfortunately. Okay. Now that paperwork's straightened out, checked in a day late, waiting for a door. Some brokers are morons. Yeah, there's definitely some bad ones out there, Van, unfortunately. All right. So let's get this show on the road, shall we? We'll show the let's take a look. All right. Fine loads. Let's do Dallas, Texas here. Dallas. Picks. Going anywhere. Unless you want something specific. And trailer, we got van, so we're all good there. 150-mile radius of Dallas. Quite a few loads. All right, so let's do highest rate. Let's see what the best paying thing's coming out of there on the overall rate. All right. Now, here's the thing. Hopefully they'll get you unloaded quickly because Friday's the later. Okay, this is a low board tip. I don't care what low board you're using. The later it gets on Friday, the less leverage you have, especially for your Monday stuff. They are not budging. For the most part. Some will, but you're looking through a sea of a bunch of loads to find that one broker that might be desperate, that's willing to pay extra to get something moved because somebody dropped off. That's like a needle in a haystack. There was a time where the Friday 3 o'clock shuffle was money. That's how it was when I was at Landstar. Now, if I have a truck emptying out at 3 or 4 o'clock on Friday, it causes anxiety. Because, and I try not to set that up like that because, you know, you might book something ahead. You might book something on Wednesday for that Friday afternoon, and then that load falls apart. Now you're at the mercy of whatever you're being dished. That's like arriving to the buffet a little too late right before closing. You know, the only thing left is a couple of pieces of chicken dried up and the crap that no one else wanted. So it's a great life analogy, right? We Floridians laugh at hail, tornadoes, and hurricanes, but freak out over Mickey Mouse. Well, Mickey Mouse is evil. Delivery of a truckload of coffee. How ironic is this today? Maxwell House. I like Maxwell House. It ain't no Black Rifle or Cameron's, but you know it'll do in a pinch. All right, so if you want to go out west, this seems to be those rates have dropped. So let's take a look at this one going to New York. Cedar Hill, Texas, only 16 miles away. Picks up at 10 a.m. today. Delivers Tuesday at 8 a.m. How many miles is this? Here we go. 1636. So a little bit of time on that. Fixtures. And they're above. Man, they're pretty up there. So that might be something to see where Latham is. That's upstate. No? Let's take a look at this. Yeah, it's not too bad. It's not like the city or whatever. So that might be a good one. So if you can look at rate per mile, that'll bring up all the short stuff and then the overall rate. So what I look for is the combination. Like here, this one. Here's 246 a mile, 2200. Load no longer available. Too slow. Let's refresh that then. And see, and you're going to see lower posted rates because they want to see how desperate you are. And the ones that you want to nitpick are the ones that like, well, which one needs to be picked up in the next couple of hours if I'm empty now? So there's quite a bit. But then like here, they're not paying to go to the Midwest. And they want you to realize that maybe the Midwest isn't paying to come out either. You know, traditionally you're going to get less going to the Midwest because you can get good rates coming out. It's supply and demand. Right now, Illinois doesn't have a whole lot of demand, so this rate will probably need to be brought up a little bit if you want to be profitable, depending on what your costs are. Cargo Chief is showing 12, the high is 13, and the low is 11. Rate check is at 10, and they've got it posted for 1,000. Copper radiator, so they're probably going to want tracking. Copper is a high value load, and so you're just, you know, so you have a little bit of negotiating. If they want 250K on cargo, you've got it'll be a higher priced load because there's less carriers that have that 250K. It feels so good when a broker says, "Do you have 250K?" and I go, "Yes, yes, we do." It opens up a few doors. So there's a lot of it going to Oregon, California, Pennsylvania. Looks like a lot of stuff going northeast. Baldwinsville, Marshall, Minnesota. Let's take a look at that one again. Let's take a look how many loads are coming out of Minnesota. Minnesota anywhere, there's 51 loads, 52 coming out of Marshall. So there's actually one going right back to Terrell, Texas, if you so desire to do that. That's not a bad lane. Minnesota ain't bad. So let's do by age. So you come up here and you filter sort by age, and that'll give you the last minute postings, right? Here's Copper, Texas, across to Arkansas, only 271 miles. It's probably going to be a whole weekend. Here we go. Here's one to Sikeston, Missouri. That puts you in the Poplar Bluff or Springfield market. It's a bit of a deadheaded Springfield. So here's Palestine to Springfield, by the way. Dart's got that. I've been seeing a lot of Dart loads posted here. I don't see them too much on the DAT board. Hawkins, that's going to be water. There's water that comes out of Hawkins. It's Nestle water. There's this little mom and pop place right next to the place that has a scale. It's not a cat scale though. I suggest using it though because Nestle can overload. Their Niagara's pretty consistent. Oh no, I take it back. I've had issues with Niagara as well. Let's see. Here's Dallas to Ardmore. That's a short run. So, but there's quite a few under the hour. So that's what you look for, right? So if you get on here and there's only 10 loads and they're all 8+ hours old, then it's probably going to be a struggle. So a lot of time, that one just disappeared. So this low board refreshes automatically. I don't know, CB. There's something inherently evil about charging guests $9 for a cold drink in the Florida heat. Got to make some money, right? Make my last cup of Grounds and Hounds coffee. That sounds interesting. That I bid at 35 to New York load. He said yes. I'm going to bid more today. That Latham is on board for 32. I bid 35, but I didn't book. Trying to see if I can get him up more. Well, good luck. Walmart store load needs straps. Price went up for me. Says Urban Network. This is actually not a bad load. This Palestine to Springfield. This is probably the one I would choose because I live here. Doesn't pick up till 5 though, but it delivers to Sunday at 8 p.m. So there's a little bit of leverage on that, which explains why they're a little bit higher than what it's been. Item is items. There you go. There's a great description. And then the Springfield market, there's 180 loads coming out of here. So that's a winner in my book. So let's do this. Let's take a look at that real quick. Okay. I want you guys to see load ratios. This is for Van. So let's take a look at Texas. 2336 going in and 2365 going out. So it's about even, right? Let's look at Florida. Just out of curiosity, 726 going into Florida and 1259 coming out. Wow. Why is Florida flipped like that on Van? So you want to figure out why. Usually Florida, it's more in than out. That's why the rates are so low. But, so when you go to the 123 low board and you look at load availability, let's see what they're saying. Well, let's hover over it first. They're saying 397 outbound, 465 inbound, but there's 165 intrastate. So let's take a look. Let's take a look at these loads. Let's see what let's sort by rate. You go all the way to California for 39. See, they're about $1.30, $1.63 to go to Colorado, $1.52 to Vegas, Fargo for $1.53. Here we go, Arcadia to North Haven, Connecticut, $1.97. Connecticut can be challenging because they're charging you to drive their beautiful and luxurious roads. Watermelons. Has watermelons started? I thought they were just planting them right now. I don't know, maybe they planted them a while back. What do I know about watermelon season? Produce, foliage, vented van in Florida right now. Okay. I do encourage people to have vented vans for more than one reason. Let's take a look at one of these. Logistics Dynamics just posted a bunch of West Palm Beach. Oh, they're doing the different city origin thing. I hate that. If you're a broker watching this, stop doing that. That's annoying. All right. I don't care what the reason is. Makes you look dumb. All right, so Upper Marlboro, Maryland. So they've got 1,800. Rate checks at 16, but look at the green screens, 2669. That was the max. Cargo chief saying that this stuff's going for around 1959, so about $2,000. And that puts you at $1.80 mile, which is pretty good for coming out of Florida in a van. So here we go. North Miami, Florida, the New Braunfels. They're at $1.33. You'd be back in the New Braunfels is a little bit south, so you're going to be probably the Laredo market or the San Antonio market. They're a little bit higher than what the rate check is showing. They're right at the, it needs, I don't know, I would want this higher because of what Texas is showing us. So nice run for the winter, go up to I-10 and cut across. You got to go through the lovely downtown Houston. Here we go. Jacksonville to Franklin, Massachusetts. The best lane coming out of Florida is northeast. Northeast or northwest. But even then, the northwest, it's a long distance, so it's a lot of miles. And so I'll show you something. So this is 2 days of driving. So 2 days you can probably get them up to $2,000 on this. 2 days of driving, I don't know what the toll situation would be on that. But if you sort this by, we do have it by highest rate. So here's Santa Clara, California, $39.33 mile. So if you look at this one, let's say we do this one. Let's say I don't know how to negotiate and I get it for 3,900. Right? Even though Cargo Chief is showing 4,900. All right. Let's say that I get it for $4,000. Let's call it $4,000. Because I'm not that great or the broker's not budging. Okay. So 29.33 on the miles. So 29.33 divided by 650 miles a day. Is that realistic? That's 4.5 days of driving. Okay. So if you get it for $4,000, well, that's so 4,000 divided by 4.5. That's $888 a day. And question is what are you going to find out of there to finish your week off? So if you get another load for 1,000 because you're out of hours or whatever, so you're at $5,000 for the week with a restart. That's kind of how you would look at it. Now you work hard for that $5,000, and if that $5,000 is not good enough, then you don't want this load. Either that, or you can get them up to $5,000, which according to Cargo Chief, is possible. It has moved for that in that lane. So that's how you look at that. Is that $5,000 enough? If you get another load for 6 or for another 1,000, that's 6. You could probably get 1,000 to go from LA Basin to upper Northwest. So, that's kind of how I would look at that if I wanted to do that. Now, here in a minute, in a couple of years, California's going to be like, hey, if you got diesel in your truck, we don't want you. That's gonna completely change the dynamics of everything. It's going to get interesting. The next 5 to 10 years is going to be extremely interesting in the trucking world, and the trucking industry that we see today will not be recognizable. That's my biggest. Well, that's my biggest concern, I guess. I wouldn't call it fear. If the trucking just becomes too much BS, I'll just get out. By then, we'll be wrecked and we'll be at war. It'll be fine. Josh, what's up, man? So, but let's say you do this one from Arcadia to North Haven, Connecticut. Let's take a look at that one. They're at 25. So let's say there's no negotiating. Vented van. Oh, there's the watermelons that Urban was talking about. So, guess what? They don't want those watermelons on that trailer. So this has probably got a decent transit time. April 28th to May 1st. So it picks up today, delivers Monday. So you're at 1271 on the miles. So that's a 2-day transit. Now it's going to be 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then Monday you deliver. So 2,500 divided by 3 is 833 a day. So the other one was 888 a day, correct? But now we're looking at the net, right? So this one might have tolls. It has the cost of going through Connecticut, whereas the other one had way more miles, so way more fuel, and and then you could probably get there. You're not going to get a restart under this. I mean, if they load you first thing Monday morning or Friday morning or this morning, then yeah. But I know most watermelon places are not that quick. So you probably won't get a restart on this, but you'll be sitting on Monday with 2,500 if you don't negotiate up. Does everyone have Connecticut permits? I don't yet. That is a great question, which is probably why there's some money on that load. Here's another one, Miami to Omaha. See if this says vented van or reefer. 43.5 on the weight. They're at $1.39 a mile. Cargo Chief shows $28.29, $72. But then you got to look at the Omaha market. Omaha market's usually not bad, so let's go down here. Yeah, it's 120 loads coming out of Omaha, so so you'd want to look at that. Now you see stuff like this. This picks up today at 1, delivers Monday. They've got it posted for 98 cents a mile. Meanwhile, Cargo Chief is showing 41.71 going out to California. Now, I don't care how good your budget is or how good your haul is to Jacksonville, but to spend the whole week on just $22.94, that is not a great rate per day. $22.94, and they're doing the odd number thing to make it feel like that's all they got in it. All right, divided by 4.5. That's $509 a day. Now, that's what you're making on the gross. So if you times that times 0.8, because now you're at $407 a day Well, what's fuel going to cost? All right, so let's figure that out. So now it's got the fuel calculator here at 6 miles per gallon. I've got a dispatch fee of 20%. So your total profit on this load is 11 cents a mile. So imagine if you went to like some company and you go, "Hey man, I'm tired of being an owner operator. I want to work for your company." And they go, "Okay, well, we're hiring. We'll put you in a brand new T680 and it's got a table. We'll give you satellite. We'll give you it's got an APU. You have a fridge. We'll give you free dish network. It's got these really cool looking lights on the top. Okay, cool. How much you pay? 11 cents a mile. Would you sign up for that? Now, that 11 cents, that's just after fuel. So are you profiting on this load? How many people do you know could profit off that load as it's posted? Okay. Now, if you go to the analytics show that it's gone for way higher. And it's not a partial. They're showing it as 43,000 pounds. And I'm sure that the broker that has to literally seriously tell whoever calls, yes, we're trying to move this at 98 cents a mile, that guy's in for a rough day. Because he's either going to get screamed at from his up superiors for giving too much money out, or he's going to be screamed at by the drivers that are like, dude, why you can't do that? To take only 11 cents a mile on a short load, that's one thing, but to do it for your week, no. That's not a good use of time, in my opinion. Now, this is just my opinion. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Maybe you have a better insight on that. Maybe you have a load that goes from San Diego to Jacksonville for $4 a mile because you got contract, because you're a good person, because you're able to negotiate with the direct shipper. And then, but you definitely need to come back. And so you can combine the two loads, and then you're no longer at 11 cents a mile profit. You're at 20, you're at 30, maybe even 50. And then that's kind of how you have to look at that. You know, time is important. Time is your most precious commodity. You know, that's why these apps and social media is such a it's so debilitating because it takes your time. You know how many people are like, hey, um, you know, you were going to work on your cost thing today. Have you done that? Oh no. I've been on YouTube and TikTok and I haven't been able to do it. Okay, but that isn't one more important than the other. But it's easy to get sucked into that. I've been sucked into that. Not TikTok, but you know, the YouTubes. It's that's how critical things are, right? And I get it, it's Florida. Well, Jacksonville, you usually get a better rate than $1 a mile out of Jacksonville. I've yet to do one load for $1 a mile. I've yet to dispatch or book a load for $1 a mile. And they're using the odd number. They're using these old classic tricks. Meanwhile, the negotiations on cargo chiefs show that you can do better. And if they refuse to come off that $1 a mile, let it rot. Let it sit there. Unless you have some sweet deal and this can still be profitable for you. Now the tactic could be that they expect you to not negotiate a little bit higher, like, oh, I won because I got them up to $1.30 a mile, which was their target. You ever heard your broker say, well, our target is this? That will tell you the whole story. When they use the word target, that's their way of saying, hey, you know what? This is where I want to be at. And so I use the same terminology back to them. Well, my target rate is about 2,200. And they go, well, we're trying to be at 15. I said, well, how close to 22 can you get? Because of this, and this, we offer this, blah, 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 blah. I mean, I'm not going to bore you with those details. I know a lot of people want me to do a video on negotiating. There's no set form. It's like writing a song. Do a video on how to write a song. Well, it's not that easy. Because there's no set one way to do it. So, first call transportation services are very lucrative in Florida. I had a chance to go from Houston to Omaha for 5K. I declined because there isn't anything around for flatbed. That is definitely a challenge in the flatbed world. That's why I was paying so well. Stephen Chat, good morning. Being offloaded in Rhode Island. Good deal. The smallest state in the union. I'm currently hiring for 15 cents a mile. Hit me up. Right. Like I said, if I got on YouTube and said, hey, I'm going to put someone in my truck. Hey, Steve, cool. What are you paying? Oh, dude, I'm paying you 12 cents a mile, man. That's better than what you can get from USA Truck. And you'll be like, wow, Steve, you need to go to the hospital because you must have bumped your head. Right? But people who don't do the math are working for 11 cents a mile. Someone who doesn't do the math is doing that load. They've either done the math and they know that they can make it work with whatever they had coming out, or they haven't done the math and they think, oh, wow, $2,200, well, it's better than nothing. I don't want to do watermelons. I don't want to go to the Northeast, so I'll take it. I live in California. I got to be home for my kid's birthday. They'll take that load, and that's who they're searching for. That's the target when they post something that low. And if you don't get emotional all in your feelings and angry about it, just move on. Recognize that. Recognize that that's what they want. Odd number, low posted rate. They are counting on you not knowing what the hell you're doing. That's what they want. So the less you know, the less you figure things out, that's what they want. Just like these people that will get into a $1,500 a week lease payment that have only had their CDL for 6 months. That's what they want. You can make money off of those people. Who cares if they starve? Who cares if they, have to move out of their house because they can't afford the house payments or their rent? Who cares? I'm making my money. And you have to rise above all that. Everything is stacked against you. You have to rise above. You have to figure it out. Because if you don't, this market that we're in now is going to chew you up, spit you out, and leave you for dead. That's the reality of what we're dealing with right now. And for the people that figure it out, you're going to be okay. But if not, if you don't get out of your own way, move aside. This truck is running you over. So, anyways, that's my reality check, I guess. Anyone have any experience hauling for spot, good or bad? They're about so-so. I've hauled for spot. I've booked spot loads. I've gotten some good rates. I used to get a pretty decent coin from them going from St. Louis to Wisconsin, load of beer. That's been about my major It was pretty good rate per day. So usually beer is good rate per day coming out of St. Louis. Now Denver, that's a different story. But let's take a look at reefer here real quick. Let's take a look at reefer in Florida, shall we? You got 335 outbound, 282 inbound, and 62 interstate. So more coming out than in. And I bet you it's related to those watermelons. Here we go. Here's Homestead, Florida to south, San Francisco, California. They're at 55.20. And that's deep South Florida. So you're looking at about 3,000 miles. So that's your whole week. 42,000 driving time, 55 hours. So if we look at 3042 divided by 650, because if you dispatch beyond 650 miles, you're asking for trouble there. Divided by 650, that's 4.68, so 5 days. So 5520 divided by 5 is 1104 a day. Let's say you're a 80 guy, 83 a day. Comes out to about the same rate a day as the other one, within $5. So let's look at the profit calculator on 6 miles per gallon. Now, I've got this out on 6 miles per gallon because that's look, if you got a heavy load going through the mountains, I know a lot of these newer trucks can do 8s and 9s, and so maybe that one load wouldn't be 11 cents a mile profit, depending on what your fuel mileage is. Maybe it'd be 20 cents a mile. But still, can you as a company driver survive off of 20 cents a mile? So let's look. This one's at 68 cents a mile. Profit after fuel and your percentage. I've got it listed as, but there's toll cost too here, 71.30. Probably taking the Florida Turnpike is what's going on there. So, and then what are you going to get out of San Francisco? Well, what's the load volume coming out of San Francisco? So it's telling you your profit's going to be $2,080 net after fuel. Of course, your other expenses got to come out of that. So if you do this for the week, that's, so you can net, this is like, let's say this is your only load. Can you live off that 2080? And mind you, that fuel's going to be higher coming out of California. So on this long trip, you're going to want to find the best fuel spots depending on your discount to your carrier. 53 reefer, Santa Maria, California. We could do that. Going anywhere for today. Let's do reefer. Lots of loads. Quite a bit. All right, so when you got this many, let's sort it to highest rate. You get 6,200 to go to Massachusetts, Los Angeles to Monroe Township, New Jersey. You're at 221 a mile, $6,000. Let's take a look, see what this is. Picks up today at 12 and delivers Monday at 12. I'm going to guess that this is probably Costco. You're looking at 27.13 on the mile, so about 4 days. Is that right? Yeah, just a little over 4 days. Cargo Chief's got that at 58. It's been as high as 61, and it's been as low as 53. Let's take a look at the volumes coming out of New Jersey. Oh, 233 loads coming out of Monroe Township. So that could be a good load. Oh, it says team. So guess what? 38. It's 38 degrees Fahrenheit. One pick, one drop. Team. Okay, so this is not going to be a 4-day run. Well, actually, it is because look, it's it needs to deliver by Monday. So if you're a team, that's literally explains why the money's on there. 6,000 divided by 3 days. That's $2,000 a day. I would take that. So there's quite a bit. A lot of it's going. So there's quite a few going northeast. Connecticut, Pennsylvania. Here we go. Here's one that's a little bit higher rate per mile. Bakersfield to Toledo, 2,200 miles. About 40 hours of driving. They're at 5, and that's above everything on the rate. So either this one needs to go now, or it's got multiple stops. So it just depends. And then Toledo, Ohio's been kind of a not too bad. Well, 150, so that's not too bad coming out of Toledo. 150 loads. So there you go, Sterling, in your request there. So let's take a look at let's sort it by age here. A lot of last minute postings. Here's one going Ann Arbor, Michigan, Bakersfield. This could be a good one. 222 a mile, $5,000. That's above everything else. I'd have to call on that, see if it's multiple stops or a team. Shram Logistics. So when they put money on something, either it needs to go now, or it's multiple stops. Or it just might be just a good contract rate that they got. So not too bad. Destination Washington State. So let's do that. So now you're going to change things up on me. I see it. Let's do oh no. Here we'll do Seattle. Or 50-mile radius search. So okay, there's only one load with that exact specific. So let's take a look at that. Bueno Park to Fife. Now look at that. Cargo Chiefs at 34. Rate checks at 25. It's a 2-day transit. So if you can get them up to, say you get them up to like 32, that's not a bad run for, 1,100 some odd miles. I used to run a reefer triangle, California, Washington, Washington, Arizona in 2016. It kept me paid. Yeah, that's a good run. That's and you can kind of create those lanes here. So you can go to rate check here. Let's do this. Let's do a rate check. So we'll do reefer. Let's do Los Angeles to Seattle. For reefer, 225 is the average. High was 319. So back in 2016, you're probably looking at 2. It probably was lucky to have it at 2. So let's do the average. So 225 a mile for 1142 miles, 1142 miles. And then now, oops. So now let's do Seattle to Phoenix. $1.58. A little bit lower on that one going to Phoenix, right? But look how much it's dropped. Look at that trend there. All right. And then from Phoenix to LA. Let's put LA. $1.87. 215 is the high, $1.23 is the low. But look how all over the place this is on this graph here. It's all it's like, whoa, no stability there at all. And I imagine that's probably related to the produce markets. So yeah, that would pay the bills. So all right, that was Jeff calling. I got to end this feed here real quick. Good morning, Snorelord and fellow drivers. Just woke up. I'm in New Mexico, heading back to Surprise, Arizona, to deliver Monday morning. Get ready to brew some caribou and hit the road. Good deal. Everybody, check out Scorpion's channel. We're gonna have to do that. I have not seen a whole lot of freight coming out into Gallus or Yuma, but anyways, we'll have to get on that probably Monday there, Sterling. So, guys, thanks for watching. Strength for today, hope for tomorrow. Aggression turns the screw. And with that being said, thanks for watching, and we'll see you Monday.